I'm Cider Spider, and I'm setting out to complete 2,000 Mentor Roulettes in Final Fantasy XIV. This is a queue that includes almost every piece of content in the entire game, where veteran players are grouped with noobs to help guide them. There's no telling what might happen as I take on this challenge 10 roulettes at a time. So, let's get started. Well, alright, we're back. 10 more Mentor Roulettes, let's get on it. What could we possibly get forced to do today? All's well that ends well? Okay. Oh, there's no way. Guys, you've got to stop making me do that. I can't have this same rant every week. There is only one female Aura voice, apparently. Also, I just realized it's All's Well That Ends in the Well. Apparently that's the name because of Reactio of the well. Not really seeing the well angle here, but whatever. It's a stupid pixie, we're gonna beat it up. Dumb flying Cabbage Patch Kid gets smacked with a book until it dies. That's all that really matters here. Maybe they should have called it that. That's what I would name a Guildhest if I was in charge of naming Guildhests. And then the follow-up Guildhest would be Don't Choose Female Aura Voice number 9. Anyway, that seems to be done. Let's go ahead and escape this mortal coil. Hopefully whatever's next is actually content. Interesting content, shall we say. Please, Yoshi P, just give me something that doesn't suck. I like to think that he personally chooses who goes into what roulette. The P stands for personally. That's why he's always so busy. Great Hunt Extreme. Okay. 3 mentors and 1 cutscene watcher. This should be interesting. Well, I mean, we've got the tank and the healer on Team Mentor, so whatever this Sprout does almost doesn't matter. We should be fine. And look at that, the other mentors are even explaining it, so I don't have to do anything. Alright, time for some monster hunting. Oh, I'm gonna hit that with an LOL. So I guess you don't want to stand there. I've never been murdered by a tail whip before, but, well, now I have. A lesson learned, perhaps? We'll find out if I'm right. Oh, I don't have any MP. Soon I will. There we go. Ow. Well, alright. Here we go. Time for the real challenge. We're already down 1 life because I got smacked in the face like an idiot, but it probably won't matter. Oh, I should not use Chain Strap while the dragon's in the air. It's a stupid thing to do. Ow! Well, how crap is my heal? Oh, it just doesn't work at all. Potion up. And potion up. Let's get rid of these fire stacks. Potion again. Why is it always me? Alright. Alright, I'm supposed to Asuna myself. Oh, God. Get up. Asuna. Let's see, does my shield even work? No. Didn't think so, but I couldn't remember. There's no way I get fireballed. Okay, cool. Come on, die. %. No. Oh, God. If I die to the poison. Oh. Okay, now we're just being silly. Ah, of course it targets me. I am out of... Okay, I'm gonna die, I guess. There's nothing I can do. It only targets me. Well, it all worked out in the end. So I'll take my hard-fought loot. I don't know if I earned it, but I sure worked hard for it. Rathalos is a hater. That's what happens in this game. You just get hated on, targeted specifically. Well, anyway, what else we got? Etherochemical Research Facility. Well, this should be fun. Doesn't look like anyone here is actually new. We've got a legend, a Delta Escape Defender, and someone with a significant tank achievement, so this will probably be a smooth run, but an incidentally kind of boring one. This dungeon is most fun when you have silly sprouts that have no idea what they're doing. When it's an experienced party, it's just kind of a dull slog that takes longer than the average dungeon. So yeah, seems like that's probably what's going to be on the menu for us. Oh my God, it's still French. And because this is a Heavensward dungeon... What? Poo-poo pee-pee. As I was saying, sorry, because it's a Heavensward dungeon, there's a few random voice lines on some of the bosses, but not most of them. Very strange, that. Now we get this weird section where there's random trash pulls on top of these big ball robots. It's like they were still trying to do that thing that they did with ARR, where the last dungeon was something strange and interesting with slightly different layouts and mechanics. But they weren't brave enough to go all in on like mount sections and turret combat or anything like that. And so what we end up with is a dungeon that feels a little bit bloated more than anything. especially where it fits into the story, which is very awkward. Having replayed Heavensward very recently, I feel like half of the story holds up really well, and then the other half has like very strange pacing. Particularly the ending sections have very, very strange pacing. You can feel exactly where the writers hit the realization that they needed to add 2 more map zones worth of story. But they didn't have that much, so they just stretched it out and started adding weird stuff like the Google library, and screw it, why not have Garlemald show up again? Everybody loves Garlemald. And then we'll end it all with a dungeon that's pretty much as long as the Praetorium, just without all the forced cutscenes. Time for the Shabti boys. There's so many of them. The pulls are so staggered down here, though, that I barely had to heal the tank. Celine has just been covering it. And it's a paladin, it's not even like a warrior or anything. Is that the grand conspiracy that Yoshi P has been planning all along? Shout out to Yoshi P, the P stands for Keikaku. Maybe getting Scholar players so accustomed to Celine doing all the healing, they'll just add an NPC healer to every party. They'll just add Celine to every single party, and then it'll be a tank with 3 DPS. You dumb down the healer role until it's not necessary anymore, and then everybody gets a Celine. Problem solved. Thank you for looking forward to it. We turned Scholar into a DPS job, and then everybody gets a fairy that follows them around and just zaps them with heals. Well, alright. Let's get to the fun phase. Ascian Prime. Ascians, transform and roll out. All Desunderdcons must be destroyed. Screw Hydaelyn and her warriors of light. I'm Ascian Prime. I transform into a pathetic Halloween store Grim Reaper. And then I cast baby mode AoE attacks. Oh, we got chains. I hope I don't get murdered by the Pope. Oh, the arcane sphere. This sphere is arcane AF. Alright, get this pathetic chump out of here. Alexa, play What I've Done by Linkin Park. And roll out. Oh, please, let me out. Alright, give me anything that's not that. Sometimes that place feels longer than the actual Praetorium. The old Heavensward Forbidden Second Praetorium. Oh boy. Fractal Continuum. What's with the weird As-Is-La dungeons these days? Why are so many people hanging out in As-Is-La? The only thing to really say about this place is at least it's got pretty good music. Kind of bland other than that. It's an interesting layout. It's not just a hallway. There's a lot of like random teleporters and stuff, so I guess that's different. I don't know if it would qualify as fun, but this dungeon is just fine. I don't particularly love or hate it. I simply tolerate it. Double sever action. Don't stand on that glowing spot on the floor. It would be bad if you did. Alright, see if we can finish this before I fall asleep. Great, and it's an accessory dungeon, so I can't even get any cool glams here. Ah, Furore. Angry. I don't think we're getting any interrupts on those. Alright, we'll be fine. We're running Warrior Scholar. Nothing can kill us. Oh. This is one of those atmospheric pulls. I guess all the dudes spawn out of the things. Ah, yes, the old twerking Minotaur. That looks like it probably hurt. Yep. I wasn't even in that. Got an exclamation point. There's an Urstrix. That's supposed to be the feasting animation? This is the origin of the Minotaur twerk. The Minnow twerk, if you will. It's from an ability called Feast. How bizarre. How bizarre. Is that gonna hurt? Or I guess not. Alright, get him out of here. Oh wait, there are glams here. Not just accessories. So much of this is just random Allegan stuff from this As-Is-La dungeon, and all the As-Is-La content really is just a clever excuse to recycle assets from the Binding Coil raids. And Crystal Tower, for that matter. They're like, we got all this Allegan junk, the 3D models, the textures. Let's find some way to reuse that, why don't we? I know. How about the last zone of the next expansion just being all Allegan stuff? Yeah, sure, that'll work. You'll never see it coming. Remember when they reused the Crystal Tower for 3 Alliance raids, a dungeon, a trial, another dungeon, a deep dungeon? I often talk about the most reused rigs in the game, but I never really thought about environmental assets. I would have to say everything associated with Crystal Tower, though, would definitely fill that role of most recycled. Allegan stuff in general is hotly recycled, but especially Allegan stuff from Crystal Tower, or even just the actual tower itself. Leave no stone unexploited. This is an interesting sword. You're here really just Animos gear? Ugh, I had no idea. Alright, I don't remember what this boss does, but I also don't think it matters, so I suppose we'll be chilling. Oh. Warrior's got that bomb debuff. Well, at least it Essenas. I feel like it's probably a bad thing, all these platforms glowing blue like this, but well, nothing bad has happened yet. Huh. And then they just went away, so maybe nothing bad will ever happen. Well, it all worked out. No loot for me, though. Lame. Alright, where are we off to next? Yay! Basic training enemy parties. This is one of those guild hests that gives you actually bad advice. What they want you to do is engage them separately, one at a time, so that you don't get overwhelmed. What you want to do is engage all of them simultaneously because you can't get overwhelmed. Unless you suck. To which my advice would be, simply don't. And we're done. What did we learn here? Never listen to the tutorials. They're useless. Oh, it's turning out to be one of those quicker sessions, but that is the halfway mark, which means it is time to chill. So, definitely like the video if you enjoy the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment. And I guess our question of the day will be, what is your favorite reused asset in the game? Whether it's some kind of elegant construct or Scathak rig or what have you. It could be anything, just as long as it's been recycled from somewhere else. Maybe even another game entirely. I know some of the models in this game are just taken from other Final Fantasies, so that'll be our comment question. What's your favorite recycled asset in this game? And after you're done with that, you might consider checking out my Twitch channel, where I stream the game live a few times a week, among other things. That is twitch.tv/CiderSpider. There's a link in the description if you want to go and give me a follow there for more content and shenanigans. Anyway, let's get back to the grind. What's next? Basic training enemy strongholds. Well, yeah, we got our basic training out of the way with enemy parties, and now is a good time to learn about strongholds. Don't know what this knowledge is even supposed to be useful for, because outside of a couple of Realm Reborn only fate events, I don't think it ever really gets utilized. It's trying to teach you a lesson that doesn't apply to really any piece of content in the game. I guess they use this a little bit with some of the MSQ dungeons, like Castra Meridianum had stuff like this. The original version, it doesn't anymore. Keeper of the Lake has got those electro doors that you need to deactivate. But most of the game just kind of gives you a hallway to run down and things to kill in that hallway. They don't really expect you to engage with much. And engage you shan't, for there are no mechanics. They were removed due to cost. Lol. Problematic, get me out of here. Go English. If I don't swap off of French now, I'll never remember to do it. You know, I don't think I actually had to log out to do that. I don't know why I thought I did. Well, anyway, what's next? Somal. A lot of that Heaven's Word today. Oops, not Physic, we want Adlo. Back in Endwalker, when I was still leveling all my jobs, some of them starting from the very beginning, one of the most crucial stages of my leveling process was running this dungeon with Grand Company bots. And on the low end, me as a DPS, the bots doing everything else, I was pulling 11-minute runs of this place by just forcing them to pull everything with high damage modifiers, and the bots doing a majority of the work. So let's see how we do with a party of players. We've got 1 Sprout and 3 probably not noobs. Can we beat the Grand Company bots? Well, right out the gate, my Dark Knight is taking a lot of damage. Most importantly, not positioning over the flowers. These are the things we need to kill, these Drake's Purrs. Those are what open the gate. See? Bam. Ow. I'm stunned. Well, we're 4 minutes in and the first boss is almost dead. I don't think these DPS are beating the Grand Company squad. They simply lack the motivation. But our one DPS isn't even playing the game. Hey, he's just got the summoner on follow. Oh, come on. Definitely not beating the bots. I'm surprised they can even hit the boss from back there. I don't know, these two are bizarre. It seems like they probably came in here together, but something weird happening. Look at that, the stack marker actually made them come over to the boss. And now they're running away again. You don't gotta stand that far away. Almost every boss it's better to be close to. Yeah, see, there's a good example of why. Bruh, what is this? Like, are we ERPing or something? What's going on here? The bunny girl keeps tabbing out, but like, this is her dungeon. She's the first timer here. I don't ask much. I don't expect people to be good at the game, but like, a minimum of effort is appreciated. They'll just force other scrubs online to carry you through the content. Contribute just a little bit. Like, if you're spending 50% of a pull standing around doing actually nothing, you're actually just trolling. Like, I'll allow the benefit of the doubt this one time, but I think outside of a Mentor Roulette, I would straight up vote kick. It probably wouldn't succeed, because again, I think our two returners are here together, but like, this is a vote kick scenario. They're not even trying. It's the fact that she's pressing any buttons at all that makes me not do it, because I would absolutely vote kick in a Mentor Roulette if someone was genuinely doing nothing. She's only doing nothing 50% of the time, and so a little bit of leeway is granted. If it was any dungeon other than Soam Hal, I would probably not grant leeway, because lo and behold, at the 11-minute mark, we are now at the final boss, and so this is still only a little bit slower than a bot run. If it was one of those 20-minute Endwalker dungeons, I would be losing it. Oh man, I forgot this cutscene's kind of long. Oh, it's done. Alright, I think this comet ideally is going to be not right in the middle of the arena. Yeah, I think Art of War is a gain on 2. Ooh. I will say it is a bit of a disservice to range players that being far away from the boss is actually worse. It's supposed to be one of the selling points of range is that you don't have to be close to things, and so that can give you a different experience how you engage with the mechanics. But the way fights are designed in this game, like, everybody essentially plays at melee range because it's just way better. You're closer to heals, you're closer to party buffs, and all the mechanics are designed around melee range anyway. It would be cool if being all the way over there as far out as possible actually provided some tangible benefit, but nope, just not that kind of game these days. So we got Summoner Book. Get me out of here. Still only a 15-minute run, thank goodness. As often as I looked up and saw our bunny girl doing actually nothing, we really only lost like 2 or 3 minutes from that. But what's next? DPS. If you queue as DPS and you don't ready up, we'll end up like Chihuahua. You don't want to end up like Chihuahua. Wanderer's Palace. One of these party members is not like the others. No adventurer plate, really? Also, wait, that swimsuit is Cash Shop. His first timing Wanderer's Palace as a sprout with a Cash Shop swimsuit glam, and I think the slippers are also Cash Shop. But no adventurer plate. Look, if you're already swiping the credit card on glams, you gotta take the 5 minutes to make an adventurer plate. Anything less is trolling. Alright, run, baby tank. Oh, you probably want to keep running. Well, we could stop here, but I'm a huge proponent of always keep running. Oh, where's my illustrates at? There we go. But his voice? What? Man, Lala's really just be sounding like whatever the heck. What is that even supposed to be? Yeah. It's like airplane noises you make when you're trying to feed a baby. Here comes the plane. Yeah. Incidentally, it's also the noise baby usually makes when they get whatever nasty baby food you're trying to feed them. Lol, I got reduced immunity. Wait, what? HP recovery via healing magic is reduced. That's what that does. Oh, lantern oil. I'll take that. Heal the tank, Celine. I'm trying to open the door. Eee. Crit Adlo. Perfect. Wrong way. Don't go that way. Oh, this tank is just going for it. Just the way I like it. Let's see if we go all the way to the next pull. Ow. Ow, my throat. Yeah, we're just doing it. Cool. We do need the lantern oil, though. Samurai's going for it. Grab it. Got it. Oh no, that was a good time for a hallowed ground, I would say. Alright, save the samurai, save the bard, and we all lived disastrously ever after. No one died, nothing bad happened, therefore it was all a part of the plan. Alright, the last pull. Could this be the rare sub-10 Wanderer's Palace? Who knows? It all depends on that last boss. Hit it in 20, it's plenty of time. Man, this wasn't even a particularly efficient run. We had a lot of silly things happen. I wonder what you could do, really pushing the boundaries of this dungeon. Because if we're about to pull a sub-10 while kind of stumbling our way through it, yep, there we go, 9.5 minutes. Love to see what a really coordinated run looks like these days. Nothing more for casters. Heck out of here. You could probably see as low as 8 minutes in there. Well, let's see what's next. Haven't got anything really fun in a while. It's nice seeing the Great Hunt earlier today, but for a couple of weeks in a row I was getting a lot of extremes, and now I just don't have that anymore. Now I just have the Porta Decumana. Oh, so exciting, you literally don't need to move. You'll be frozen in place with anticipation. Critics are raving. The Porta Decumana is so awesome, you'll shit your pants. Alright, let's do it. Oh wait, yeah, we don't want to move. Moving is cringe. Let me stand here. In melee range. We can do a no movement, no healing run, and just let Celine handle all of it. And I should actually be fine. That might kill me. No, I should have trusted. now. Why did I pick the spot where all the Venn diagrams hit? No movement, no heals is fine if you pick the optimal spot wherever that might be, but this ain't it. So we can do no movement other than getting landslided. Oh, Celine can't heal me while I'm in the rock. This isn't gonna kill me, is it? Idolin wouldn't let me Idolin, huh? Nah, we're chilling. The hardest part of it is just trying to stay awake. I porta, therefore I decumana. Fervent hope shines in the light. Is that really the lore? I just hope enough that I don't die and then I don't die. I guess that's usually how that works. You just hope for the best and you either get lucky or you don't. No, afraid you're not pushing me around. Too busy smacking this thing with a book. Can't afford to be dancing around the arena. Not to the darkness, my child. Dumb things happen in the dark. Well, let's talk to our friends Gaius and La Brea.
Why does my enemy still stand?
It is the blessing of light that confounds you.
La Brea.
Your foe acts under the
La Brea.
Theirs. If you are to prevail, the hammer of dark must needs be brought to bear.
La Brea. Deal with your internet.
Bear upon the shield of power of which you ignorant.
What have you done?
I sought the life eye of magic jewels.
Speak plainly, Ascian.
The heart of Sabi failed the magic within Eon.
Of what magic do you speak?
A spell without parallel.
What? Such devastation!
Well, alright, let's do it. Let us find the answer together. I don't know if I liked it better when this was a part of Praetorium or not. I mean, it used to be a 30-second fight that sucked and was annoying and wasn't great, but at least the odds of it coming up in the roulette would have been lower. Because it was all rolled in together. But now, you could either get Praetorium or Porta Decumana, and so there's twice as much likelihood of it showing up. And since you don't steamroll the fights anymore, you actually spend longer by volume, just more raw, gross time actually in the content. So I think it's kind of worse now, just in terms of repeating this all the time. The better first-time experience for Sprouts doing the MSQ, but for the mentors that have to carry them through it, it's a lot more painstaking. I think it'll probably get worse as the expansion wears on as well, because not as many people are still leveling jobs, which means there's probably fewer people in the MSQ roulette. What do you do when you don't have people queuing for MSQ and there are Sprouts needing to do it? Well, just drag the mentors into it. I mean, somebody's got to answer the question of who is mightier. Gotta love the way this thing's structured. You beat Gaius in like 3 consecutive fights, and he's like, the question of who is mightier remains. Like, at what point does it stop being a question? I guess no one ever accused Gaius of being a quitter. He goes the full 9 rounds. He loses all of them, but he keeps getting up. Goes on like a 9 3/4 count, and he still stood up. I guess I would say the ref should end the fight, but I think the ref disappeared. That's La Brea. Imagine winning a fight so badly and so egregiously that the ref steps in and fights you afterwards. Like, wait a minute. You weren't supposed to beat that guy up that much. Now you gotta fight me, the referee. It is I, the true villain, the ref. I was gonna say they ought to try that plot line, but I think WWE already did. I think wrestling did that a long time ago. I'm not exactly reinventing the wheel here. I'm reinventing a wheel-shaped object. Alright, get me out of here. Holy crap. Okay, our last roulette for the day. Press commence and hope for the best. The 4-man. Probably gonna be something boring AF. But maybe it won't be. I shouldn't be so pessimistic. The fun part of the roulette is you never know what you're gonna get. But I haven't hit my Keeper of the Lake quota for this week yet, so if I had to guess, my money would be on that. Nope. It's basic training enemy strongholds. Again. Man. We're doing a lot of basic training. Very, very basic training heavy week. Somehow it feels like there's even more Sprouts now than there were previously. It's one thing to have a bunch of goobers and ARR drag you into like Ramu X. That happens. But those are like, you know, you've already cleared ARR at that point. You're working on patches. You're just unlocking all the content you can find. That's a different level of Sprout. It's something else entirely. People playing classes queuing for guild hests. I don't even remember at what point of the story you unlock guild hests, but I feel like the game doesn't exactly funnel you into them, and so why are people queuing for these? There's nothing wrong with it, it's fine, it's just weird to see so many. Perhaps a little known fact, if you're new to the game and you suck really bad, I shouldn't tell people this because this is going to mean I get more guild hests, but if you suck really bad at making money, every time you clear a guild hest on a job that you've never done it on before, there's a first time guild bonus, and it's in the thousands. And so if you want easy money, if you're too lazy to find any other way to make gil, and earning gil's really easy in this game, but one way you can get cash as a low level is just running guild hests on jobs that you haven't done them on yet. There's a first time bonus of a few thousand gil, and it adds up. It's a nice little chunk of change for a noob. That's the only reason I can think to recommend guild hests to anybody, because they don't really teach you meaningful lessons anymore, and you don't get much else out of it. It's not even good XP, so it's not worth it for leveling. The only reason to do them is that one-time gil bonus, which is only relevant if for some reason you just don't have a lot of gil. So yeah. Looks like it's gonna be one of our shorter weeks. We didn't get very many time-consuming things, and so sometimes it's like that. You get in, you get out, it's easy. Didn't get a lot of loot as a result. These Sky Raider pantaloons are interesting. I don't think I've ever seen these before, so I'll be able to make a fun outfit with that. Doesn't really do much for my current fit, but I think I'll keep them just as a potentially interesting glam later. I also got this dyeable Warlock's hat, so if I color match that with my robes, it actually makes it look like this is some kind of fit. Not terrible, but essentially that appears to be all I've got. We only pulled 3 pieces of glam. I'm pretty attached to my Ramu Codex, so I don't think I'm going to be replacing my weapons anytime soon unless I get something more circumstantially interesting than the book from Ramu. But we did get great hunt currency, and so I guess the question is this enough to afford anything from that set? Might as well go and check, because these Rathalos scales are used to buy Rathalos armor. Oh, I see. So I can afford some of the base pieces here. But in order to make it dyeable, I need to spend Gale Plus. Wait, this is the male Rathalos gear? What the heck is this? Female one at least kind of looks like armor. It's got appropriate dye channels on it as well, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, you could do some pretty interesting things with this. Now, I only got Rathalos X one time this week, but I've gotten it in the past on this roulette, and I've done it before that as well, so I do have enough scales to where I could get the dyeable version of this, and I would consider it fair game at this point. Too bad I got rid of the Odin boots last week. Those would have been a perfect match for these pauldrons. That said, I think I'll stick with just the change of hat and the invisible pantaloons. We'll hold out on the Rathalos thing. If we get it in roulette again, then I will have officially gotten 4 scales over the course of the series, and we could grab pretty much any piece of gear off of there that I wanted, any singular piece. I think this one will be our glam. Anyway, let's roll the outro. Alright, this week I got 4 dungeons, 4 guild hests, and 2 trials, meaning these are our new totals. Our session time was 1 hour and 49 minutes, making this our new total. Anyway, I need to get back to basic training, apparently. 1 like equals 1 training. K-bye.
Van Belsar. Oh.